Next up, we have Adam. He will also be talking from a wealth management perspective. He's coming from Accenture Wealth Management.
My name is Wisniewski. I'm working for Orbium. Orbium is a Swiss, or used to be a Swiss, consulting company specializing on wealth management that has been bought by Accenture last year and complementing Accenture very well in this area where Accenture wasn't that strong up to now. They were more focusing on other areas in banking, especially retail banking and investment banking. And now with Orbium together, they are number one in wealth management as well. I guess you saw this chart already before. And I'll be talking about some fundamental changes in wealth management that started a couple of years ago and are increasingly impacting wealth management now and will in the next couple of years. What you can see is that in the last couple of years, change was mostly driven by regulatory requirements. MiFID was one of them, and FIDLEG that will be coming into Switzerland soon, and GDPR EU-wide, followed by FADP in Switzerland. So basically, the changes were mostly around transparency versus the client. That's around MiFID. And GDPR is also quite a basic change where the data the bank doesn't own the data anymore, or the RMs don't own the data anymore. The data belongs to the client, which is also something that wealth managers have to adapt now. Those were quite big changes. That changed that's still changing the industry, but those changes were coming at a very slow pace. The regulators are not very known to be very quick in whatever they enforce. So basically, you could a new regulation came up. You had a couple of years usually to implement that, and once implemented, for the next couple of years you could basically rely that your setup was okay. And until the next regulation came, and then you could call them the breaking points. So again, you have to adapt to that, and then you were again on the line of change, and it was fine for the next couple of years. The point is now that when changes start to get driven by new technologies and client expectations especially, they come more and more often, and they are bigger and bigger regarding the impact on the industry. So that this individual changes, this single point of changes don't work anymore. You have to find a new system how to deal with that. So now we are talking about continuous change. So the change process has to be built into your business model, into your operations within your business. If not, you won't be able to keep up with the pace of the changes in the future, and already now, by the way. And the most important thing is so we talked about that. It was driven by what? Yes. So, but the most important thing in the end is this little question mark up there. So you don't know what will be coming. With regulations, you usually had quite some time to adapt to that, and you knew what will be coming. The regulator were pretty transparent on that. Today, you cannot say what's the big change, what new technology or the new driver will be in wealth management 3 or 5 times from now. So what you have to do is basically be prepared, be flexible enough and prepared for whatever comes to you. And for that, you need, of course, a framework which allows you to be flexible enough to do that. That was this. Right. So that's the main point to take with that. So basically, it's not a single event anymore. It's a continuous process, which changes basically the way you work. Then it's one most important thing is that now the change is driven by technologies and especially by clients, by their needs and by how they want to do business with you, basically. Orbium is doing yearly a wealth management C-level survey, a survey around big and small wealth managers, asking them a lot of questions. And one of them is what they think, what will be the big impact of impacting the business in the next couple of years and in the different areas. And what we see is that there is a change from mostly, again, regulatory requirements impacting the business and also cost-cutting initiatives impacting business to revenue growth initiatives impacting the business. And that's 4 of them that have been ranked the top 4. And you see that it's very well matches what we said before. 2 of them are, the first and the 4th one, are very much centered around the client. So that's exactly what we saw before. And the second one and the third are centered around digital or technical improvements or technical possibilities that you have now, and about innovation. So that's basically about the change that we were talking about before. So a robust compliance setup is still necessary, of course, because you have the risks are too big not to be compliant, basically, and that's something that has to be built into your infrastructure, but it should be built in a way that doesn't affect any of the other things that you want to achieve. So it should be basically, the best way is to outsource that, basically, and to focus on really what drives your business, on what drives growth in your business. Then again, the technology was very used for a long time to lower costs. In the last couple of years, that was mainly the main investments in technology were to lower costs of your business. But that is changing now. And again, it's more about growth and about building up new business models, about improving your margins, and about growth in general. And again, at the very end, client expectations that cannot be stressed enough. The clients will be telling you what your next business model is. So you have to listen to them, and you have to, you have to communicate with them. You have to have exchanging communication channels going both ways with your clients to really understand them. Looking at one example, I won't be going very deep into that because, again, we have some experts around those topics later on. Is robo-advising. So here you see kind of a technical development of the robo-advisors from very simple functionalities at the very beginning. Now we can say that most of them, so about 80%, are around 3, which means pretty, or 3rd generation, you could say, which is pretty, a complete process, technically covered process, but still oversight by a human, or still human interaction within that. And this is, I don't think that the reason that the fully automated ones are not more successful now, I don't think that it's a technical problem. I think that the clients today still expect some kind of human interaction when they want to invest, when they're taking investment decisions. So that's where we are currently. So basically, robo-advising are tools. They are not something which is there to replace you. It's something that is there to help you. So understand the technologies, understand your business models, and try to combine those two into something which will give even more added value to your clients. So as a summary, continuous change, once again, take out the complexity of your infrastructure for you and for your client, and focus on the growth and use those tools for growth. Client centricity, again, that cannot be stressed enough. Shape your processes, shape your business models around the client, and for that, listen to them. Use the data information you have of them, because as we all know, banking industry has a lot of data already available, but the usage of it is still much less than optimal, we can say, right? And then finally, be confident about yourself. Know yourself, your goals, your preferences. You are the one who will be building, around those strengths, the business models will be built together with the client, with the technical tools to support them. But it's really, you are the core of, together with the client, of course, you are the core of your business in the end. That was it from my side. Thank you very much.